Minecraft. We're back in Bedrock, which just got a new, smaller update today that adds a number of new features. We're going to be largely focusing on the foxes, which are new mobs in the game. They like the shade during the day, and they're a little bit more active at night, and we're going to be going over taming. And we're also going to be talking about other new additions to the game that have been added. So it's just a bunch of little smaller features this time around. So with the foxes, we got the two here. They love sweet berries. As you notice, they prop right up when I have a sweet berry. So you can't necessarily tame the foxes, but you can build trust in their next generation. So I guess we've got like full grown one. I had a child there for a sec. But yeah, you feed them their sweet berries, and then they'll mate and you'll get like a small little fox. And then that young little fox is going to be a fox that trusts you. So there are foxes out there in the wild that are born just naturally in the game's progression. But if you have these sort of quote unquote tamed ones, they're going to be more trustworthy in regards to you as a player and be more friendly around you and helpful as well. So that is worth noting. With their sweet berries, you're going to find that available with the sweet berry bush. And you can't really find that inventory-wise to throw down, so you actually have to plant the sweet berries, and then you can bone meal it, and you can see it grow into the sweet berry bush that you can actually kind of slowly move through. It's not like a super slow ability, but it definitely is a little bit slower than usual. And for taming the foxes, you do want to keep them in the regular vicinity of one another so that they can find each other. That is a helpful thing. I also wanted to show off the chickens here. Yeah, so the foxes will hunt chickens, so be careful of your livestock. They also have the ability to hop over things, like without the the brick over here, they would just actually hop right over the fencing, like no big deal at all, because that's what foxes do. They're clever little things, which is kind of fun. And it's they're a neat addition to the game. I'll get a couple more running around here. So just feed them the berries, get them close enough together, and then they'll get the hearts going, and it'll be very easy for you to have some that are trustworthy of you. So there are snowy foxes too, and if you breed a regular red fox with a snowy one, there's a 50% chance of their baby being either snowy or red, and that's kind of interesting. The snowy one's different biomes, so you usually find these guys within taiga biomes, and some other ones too. So that's generally the foxes within the game. I think that sort of covers their additions. They're kind of fun because they like curl up, as you notice. They're all just curled up, and then they get really excited when you bring out the berries and stuff, or like a type of food that they're going to be hunting towards, which is nice. Cool. So yeah, just be careful of them with your livestock because they go and eat stuff, and that's not great. Other additions to the game, aside from our cool little foxes, are the mushroom changes. So we've got the brown mushrooms, and we got the red mushrooms. And so transforms whenever red mushroom is struck by lightning, and you feed them flowers to create a bowl of suspicious stew. So we're going to show that recipe off here. So we got a flower of any type, mushroom, red mushroom, and then a bowl. And then we get a suspicious stew, which is like a new weird kind of stew that you can get in the game. Cool, right? Strange effects, strange things like that. Kind of a neat addition. Next up, we have dead coral. There are different types of it. Just like destroyed, kind of ugly looking coral. So yeah, that's kind of cool. 5 types of it. Looks neat, I guess. Nothing really special. It's just dead looking. I guess you could use it for an aesthetic type of thing, but nothing too interesting. So Noteblocks are different too. We got a regular Noteblock here, and then you can now add things below the Noteblocks. And that will change the sound of the Noteblocks. So, we got a pumpkin, we got an emerald here. We also got glowstone. Other things include like soul sand, block of iron, bone block, wool, packed ice, clay, and block of gold, and they're all going to give you different tunes and sounds for your Noteblock. So that's a fun little addition. The next thing is that item frames can now be placed sort of anywhere. You place them on the floor. You can place them, I guess, on the ceiling. It's sort of like a weird change up, but I guess it's going to be appreciated for when people are placing the blocks down. This is a withering rose. So as you can see in my hand here, it's kind of a deadly thing. So this is a new scary looking flower that is planted wherever a living entity dies to the wither. And, you know, it's just sort of weird looking and scary. It's a deadly sort of thing. Yeah. And going back on the suspicious stew, that will grant like different effects potion-wise on people, in case you were wondering about that. So they added abandoned villages too. I don't really have one in the vicinity, so I can't really show that off, but it sounds pretty cool. A celebration event that occurs if pillagers successfully raid a village, so that's interesting. Light block from map makers. A lot of the stuff is kind of like behind the scenes additions too. Is he got something in his mouth? That's funny. These foxes are full of life, but yeah, so a lot of kind of more developer type things for the... Ooh, they touched the withering thing. That's interesting. A lot of behind the scenes things for map makers so that they can improve their builds and change things up. You notice how the foxes are all like going crazy at night and stuff, so that's interesting. They're grabbing that interesting. And they added a character creator so that you could personalize your character in a number of ways, more than 100 items available for free. And yeah, kind of a change up thing, so that's kind of neat. Experimental gameplay in regard to structure blocks, so that's just making the creation progress or process a little bit easier going for people. That's a nice addition as well. I'm just really digging the foxes. They're quite a lot of fun. Need little foxes going. Need a little fox. It's really enjoyable. So that's interesting. They fixed a bunch of things, but yeah, that's generally the new features. We've got our foxes. We've got some new things. They added game credits for more people. They're viewed after defeating the Ender Dragon, if you're not familiar with that process of the game. New in-game chat settings to improve accessibility. Sounds kind of nice. Kind of showing that off there. This is on all the Bedrock versions, if you were wondering. So, you know, I'm on Windows 10 PC because I got a new PC, so it's kind of awesome for recording stuff. But there's also, like, you know, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, Pocket Edition, iOS or Android, virtual reality, anything that's running Bedrock. Hopefully PlayStation 4 it someday too, but we'll have to wait and see if that happens. So the light block for map makers supports auxiliary data from 0 to 15 for light level. Light blocks are supported via /give, /fill, and /set block. And the invisible end rod variant 6 is now automatically updated to new light block. What? So that's kind of fun addition to have. Oh, they're sad or something. They didn't get enough food. I don't know, I think the foxes are kind of really cool and a good enough thing, but not necessarily a huge update to the game. I mean, we did get a number of new features, but they're not like massive changes to the overall mechanics. So to summarize, we got foxes, which we showed off the kind of taming element to them, the picture frames that you can now place ceilings, floors, anywhere like that, the changes to note blocks. So kind of like, you know, the fire pit. So you can place a fire, you can have something underneath the fire, and it'll change what kind of smoke comes up. We got the suspicious stew, the withering rose, the dead coral, and yeah, that kind of summarizes those change-ups. It mainly is the foxes that are a big deal, at least in my opinion, to change things up. So you can also use a lead with the young ones to kind of, you know, the ones that you tame, just to kind of keep them with you. That's a nice little thing. It's just like a bonus level of loyalty when you do actually, you know, breed them and get your own little offspring for it. Be careful of those little, where you place your foxes, or even foxes in general, because they're going to be there naturally in the world, depending on where you build. So they might come in and eat your, you know, chickens and stuff, which would not be ideal, I imagine, if you're trying to grow livestock. So let's just get a bunch of chickens in here and watch the action of the foxes taking on those poor chickens. Wow, that did not last long. Let's see how this goes. Yep, it's definitely a massacre in there. I think this is a rather enchanting Minecraft update, and we'll definitely be covering the future ones that come as well, because I'm sure there are some neat changes in the future of this one. I love the animations on the foxes too, whether they're like curled up or they're like munching on stuff. Kind of like the little things that go on with their mouths and that's kind of entertaining. And so is the running of the chickens. I wonder if we could increase this a little bit more here. And the kind of limitations we got. So we got a lot more foxes, and we're gonna need a lot more chickens. Yeah, the chickens definitely do not last very long against the foxes. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this look at the new update on the Bedrock versions. Well, that fox got out. Whoa! They got like super jumps going on. That's unsettling. Oh, wow.